It has been a wild start to the release of Football Manager 26, after us missing an entire year of Football Manager action due to FM25 being cancelled, and us having to spend 2 years with FM24, we have been given FM26. It is currently in beta, although, if I've got the timing of this video correct, the beta comes out of beta and the full version comes out tomorrow. So, where are we at? Well, there have been constant bug fixes and hot fixes and patches in this beta, and they have fixed a wide range of issues, but it is clear that this is not the final form that FM will take in its new experience through the Unity engine. So, when FM came out in the beta, it was rough in places. There was text not being fully visible, there was bugs, there was a lot of bugs, yes, many bugs. But I think the most stark thing, outside of the bugs, which is, I mean, take a shot every time I say bugs in this video, because I tell you what, you're going to be drunk by the end of it. That isn't actual advice, don't take me up on that. I don't want to make a load of my viewers hospitalized because I've told them to drink every time I've said bugs. Anyway, outside of the bugs, the FM26 beta release was a huge culture shock for FM players, especially long-time FM players, because this FM is staggeringly different to previous editions released. Whether you're a person that played the absolute beep out of FM24, or whether you were back in the Championship Manager days, this is a brand new experience. It has got its ups and downs, and remember that FM24 wasn't really a game that was perfected over many years. It didn't come out of the box way back like FM24 was. It had plenty of modes and little features and nuances added that made it the perfect and quote-unquote most complete Football Manager ever when it released. But we are not at that now. We are at a point past that now. Football Manager has to move on, and it has to, well, bring itself into 2025, 2026, and the years going forward. It can't stay with its current engine. So, in comes Unity, and the big, and I know there's a lot of polarizing views amongst the community. There is a lot of polarizing views, and everyone is entitled to their own views, but they're also not entitled to force their views upon everyone else. So you have to play the game for yourself. Tomorrow the game will be available via Game Pass, via wherever you want to play it, Netflix, anything. But remember that the mobile version will be vastly different to the PC and console version, because that has slightly different features and runs on different devices, and I don't believe it has the dual tactic thing and anything. Anyway, there's a lot of polarizing views, but to be honest, outlining the good in the FM26 beta, and this is looking at the beta only because this is being recorded when the beta is out. This is being released when the beta is out, not when the full release is out. But outlining the good, the new UI is clean. When you get to the right parts to read and consume information, it is very clean. You can see it in the background of this video. I've deliberately taken footage of me just playing by myself in the second season of my Arsenal women's save that I carried on after the series ended into the next year. I've been playing it by myself. This is just me clicking buttons, playing Football Manager as you would by yourself, as a casual activity. It's not me making a video or anything. And it genuinely, now I've got used to it, I'm clicking through it, you know, I'm doing my thing, and I'm getting through it pretty quick, pretty smoothly, without many hitches. There are a few bugs still. I think at some point in that footage there is a bit where it's like, gives me a news story where I've got to scroll when there's only like 2 lines of text, and it's like, okay, yeah, that could be improved. But they've already improved things like not being able to see half of the league table in certain views. Well, they've changed that a little bit now. It altered the UI, and now you can see, when you look at the league table, the whole Premier League table. Not quite the whole league table for a 24-team league like Championship, League 1 and League 2, but it is a big step in the right direction. Now, the match engine. The match engine is always going to be the first thing people go to when doing a good review of Football Manager 26, because it is night and day when you look at it compared to FM24 and titles previously. You can see the little nuances of the players. You can see them, doing tricks, skills, stuff like that to beat their players. They look like they have ability rather than them just randomly going past their players with no animation, nothing to indicate what they've done. They've just done it. There are new animations, it's clean, the graphics are really nice. There are still some weird little bugs that you get in literally every game, let's be honest. Unless it's a really polished AAA title, but that's not what Football Manager is, and that's certainly not what FC26 is from the EA side of things. And to be quite honest, I found some really, really bad bugs in FC26 because EA simply, I don't think, care all that much, and I think we've known that for a while. At least, throughout this beta, I have seen that Sports Interactive care to remove a lot of the bugs and stuff. And I have not had Football Manager 26 crash recently. It was really edgy and weird. I had a lockup, I think, in the first day or two of playing it in the middle of a match. I think it was in a video in the Arsenal series where I just had to close it. I had no choice. Absolutely no choice. It locked up on me and it was simply an Alt F4. There was no other way to fix it. But I've not had one since. These hot fixes and patches have been solving that issue, which is huge, because the last thing you want when the game releases is an unstable game, let alone the UI bugs, not being able to see some text, etc. You do not want an unstable game which crashes, because that is verging on Cyberpunk 2077 territory when it released, and well, we all know how that went. Although, when you look at that game like that now, it's doing brilliantly. It's had time to repair itself. Anyway, Match Engine is a big game changer, and as we go forward into future FMs, 27, 28, 29, 30, the possibilities with the Unity engine and the Match Engine that they now have are very high. The skill ceiling has been increased in a way far beyond what was possible in things like FM24, which is a huge step forward. And of course, the other one is the new tactic system. The new tactic system is it gives us creativity we've never experienced before within the world of Football Manager. The in possession, out of possession tactics, it allows you to do really, really cool things, and it really, really lends into the creativity that you can have as a manager building a tactic for the team that suits you and your players. And I know the Football Manager community is going to have an absolute ball with it. So that is something to really look forward to. And also, that's not going to go anywhere. So even if FM26 is not the best Football Manager you've ever seen, which it probably won't be, I'll be perfectly honest with you, it is a step to possibly the most comprehensive football managerial experience in a game that you'll ever see. It might not be now, but it will be soon. It'll be in the next couple of years, I reckon. They are on to something good here, SI. Whether you see that or not in the long term, whether you're looking at the long term or not, they are onto something good. But obviously, we have to outline the bad. It is a huge, huge step to learn this new FM experience compared to what you've been used to. I've played Football Managers all the way back to FM 2016, 2015, 2014. I've played this game on and off for well over 10 years, and this game has changed. To this year, it is just changed. And doesn't matter how long you have in previous FMs, it's going to take you a long time to learn. I am 50 plus hours into the game, nowhere near what some other people have been putting in, especially on the YouTuber space. When you look at people like Work the Space, Lujo, Zealand, they're going to be putting in hundreds of hours already, and they're going to be very competent with the UI. And it takes many, many hours to get competent with this new UI, because it is completely different. Absolutely completely different. And yes, it's buggy. There are plenty of buggy moments. less than they were at the start of the beta, but they are still there. And that isn't going to change into the full release. That's going to be the big culture shock. There are still going to be bugs in the full release of FM26. But nowhere near the amount seen in the beta. And I cannot say for the alpha because I never had the alpha. So it's not going to be perfect, but it is going to be pretty near. And I reckon that SI will keep on top of things. At least to an extent. Because they certainly can't let the game go to the doldrums. And they have promised the idea of the World Cup update coming later in the FM26 cycle, whenever that might be. Christmas, later this year, or early next year, or later next year. Who knows? I'm sure it won't be too near FM27, that's all I'm thinking. But it is a massive step forward, but it's going to be a lot of bugs. And it's a case of having a little bit of patience that I know that a lot of society is lacking these days. But it is needed, because they are building something good. And I, for one, can say that I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm not a paid content creator, you can see by the channel numbers. I am nowhere near the size of people like Lelujo or Work the Space or Zealand or anyone like that. But I can say, having paid for this beta and having played it now for a long while, I'm not going anywhere. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. And I think that says a lot in itself. I have played plenty of games. I've been round the block with a lot of games. I have another YouTube channel that has played AAA games, Dead by Daylight, Overwatch, Valorant, Fortnite. I have played them all, and, well, FM26 really isn't that bad. If you're reading a lot of the Reddit posts about it, yeah, it's going to look bad. But if you read proper reviews about it, people that are a little bit more forgiving and a little bit more, should we say, closer to the consumer, that would be normally consuming FM26 content, not people that absolutely live and breathe the game and bleed it, to be honest, then it's going to be a good experience for you. There are glaring missing features in the game. People will highlight the idea of heat maps not being in the game, which is a pretty big missing thing. And I'm sure that will turn up in the future. I just think they've run out of time. They had to get a release out. There was no FM25. They had to get something out. And there are going to be things like heat maps missing. There is, and I saw it highlighted in Lelujo's 500 years in the future video or whatever it was, where there's no club league history. You cannot see each year what league that club was in, which is a pretty big omission. And I'm hoping that will get added within either this cycle or in FM27, because I think that's pretty big missing. And obviously, there was the idea that international football wasn't going to be in the game. But we know that's coming. We know that's coming in a future update. And I think that's going to be a thing that rolls on for SI. I think there's going to be big update adding international football. Then international football will be standard in FM27. Then FM27 will have a big update mid-roll, where it will add another big few features, and it will roll from there. And I think there is a lot of panic that is jumping the gun, is the best way to put it. And I think if we turn around in FM27 or FM28 and we're still seeing the game we've basically got now, yeah, get your pitchforks out and start going for SI, because that's not acceptable. But they are working in an engine they've never worked in before. They've had to convert everything, which they did very poorly by experts that have said something about that. I don't know the full thing, but I've heard that experts have said that they did it very poorly in their co-conversion over to Unity. And so we've got to have a bit of patience. Overall, from my point of view, I'm enjoying FM26. That may be a hot take, but I am enjoying it. And I believe you will enjoy it too. Doesn't matter what you want to do with it, right? If you want to go deep, you want that deep journeyman save with it, that's doable. I'm going to do one. Literally. Coming soon. You want that short save, like the Arsenal beta save I did? It's there. Women's football is there. International football will be there. And your normal Enterprise National League South save with Western Supermare is there. Your random French third tier save is there. There's not much that is missing. The core of the game is there. And you have to kind of take into account that this is the rebrand and restart of the series of Football Manager. This is where it went from Championship Manager to Football Manager. This is where it starts. This is not where it ends. This is not what the end product is going to be. This is the concept of patience and the idea of a 3+ year build of the perfect football management simulator with the perfect engine. The potential is limitless. So with FN26, my biggest recommendation is patience. It will take you hours to learn this new game. There is a new UI to learn, a new match engine, new ways to navigate, a new UX, and a new tactical system. All with new namings, by the way. Very few of the names of tactical styles and positions, etc. are carried over from FN24. A lot of them are new. And there'll be a lot to get used to. But it has opened up a brand new world for Football Manager that it was never going to be able to do with the old engine. And I think the future looks really bright, even if the short term looks like a really, really rough road. Don't make a snap decision with FM26 when you get your hands on it. Give it time. Give it more than an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Give it more than 10 hours. Let it show you what it's capable of, and I think you'll have a great time. But that's my review of the FN26 beta and my advice to you going into the full release of Football Manager 26. I might make another one of these videos after the full game has been released for a little while, just to see where we're at, just to see if SI has stamped more things out. But that's what I recommend. Give it time. Don't make snap decisions. Let Football Manager 26 show you what the future can look like. I'm going to leave it here for this one, and I hope you can join me for more series coming down the line in Football Manager 26. Loads of stuff planned, loads of ideas in the works, short and long series. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. Give it a like and subscribe if you are new. Hit that bell icon if you're looking forward to those series. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.